this and that, as if like he's the only one can make this country greater again. That it's just like a very divisive kind of a encouragement to his supporters, and then in the other hand, talking down to people who are opposing him. There's just tone as a voice. It's always like that. You don't feel that is because you and I would have different stands, right? Yeah.
No, the reason I do have a slightly different position, but the reason I ask is because when we're talking about like what a dictator does, there are a bunch of U.S. presidents that have acted in similar fashions to Trump. Now, I don't know of any president, to be fair to you, who has done that kind of a State of the Union speech and as long. Excuse me. But it does seem to me that part of the criticism of the current president, I'm not a giant fan of him, is that he is taking the presidency's powers and using them fully. There have been lots of presidents who have talked about being the only people that can solve problems. And so the reason I was trying to understand what you meant was because in my head, the dictator-like language, I don't really know what that means. But you are right, you have a slightly different position. But thank you so much for answering my question. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Marshall.
Ching, I especially liked your observation about how he entered the chamber and how he gave his attention to the Republicans and not the Democrats, and conversely, the Democrats tended to ignore him. Typically, when they have a president invited to give it, whether it is, by the way, technically it was not a State of the Union address, it was an address to a joint session of Congress, but that's just a technicality, really. But generally, when a president does a joint speech or the State of the Union, the Sergeant at Arms says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States," and everybody, even his strongest political opponent, gets up, yay, and applauds, and the president is all smiles, and he walks down the aisle, and he turns to the left, and he shakes the hands of people on the left, and he turns to the right, and he shakes the hands of the people on the right. It's a unifying moment, and it speaks to how this country has traditionally accepted transitions of power for what they are. You win some, you lose some, the rest get rained out. But in this case, that's not what happened. That's a tremendous observation that kind of escaped me. Maybe I was too busy working, trying to report on what was going on to notice that nuance. Very important observation. Thank you, Ching. There are a lot of people that are trying to get on stage. Sorry, no additional people because of the time. However, we will go into extra time to give everybody who's in queue an opportunity to speak. If you want to make your opinion known, click on the link at the top, join the messenger chat, and fire away. Please, however, follow the same rules as we do in the room. Treat each other with respect. And with that, we go on to Jordan.
Thank you. Fascinating conversation. Donald Trump, as much as I don't care for him, he has mastered an appreciation for the attention economy, and he's a creature of instinct. He's not a learned individual in the regard that I think of people as. And so, Democrats have failed to understand that he's constantly looking for views, not validation. And it's something that we all could, quite frankly, learn from. I'm not saying it's something that I endorse or support, but it's the way to win in this attention economy influenced by algorithms, right? You kind of stuff knowledge into the system